So here we are, another Soulsborne game. There have been many over the years, like Lords of the Fallen, but it was bland and it was too close to a copy of Dark Souls, and at that point you might as well just play Dark Souls proper. Then there was the Surge that had some cool mechanics, but it just fell flat. There are some really good Souls copies, like Neo, that was a really good one. But I feel as though most just tried to copy From Software's hit as opposed to make it their own. So where am I going with this tirade? I'm going to try and sell you on Steel Rising. The plot in Steel Rising is very interesting. It takes place in Paris during the French Revolution. King Louis XVI develops a mechanical army of automats to quell this unrest. You play as Aegis, and you are tasked by the Queen to stop him. Simple. Oh, and you're also an automat. That's a very stripped back rundown of the plot, but I'm not trying to spoil anything here. While on the topic of plot, this is one of the major things that piqued my interest initially. It's a story that uses real-world history as its backdrop. This is a welcome difference from other games in the genre, where you're in these vast, complex, and amazing fantasy worlds. Steel Rising's setting is the second major thing that captured my interest from the beginning. It takes Dark Souls' old crumbling castles, caves, and sewers and replaces them with ornate chateaus, streets, hedge mazes, and opulent gardens. And I know we've seen a similar setting before in Bloodborne, however Steel Rising really leans into the geography of the city to create very interesting levels for you to explore. Slashing your way through the Louvre to fighting on the banks of what I'm assuming is the Seine River is all very cool to me. But to the dismay of some, Steel Rising is a strictly single-player experience, so you won't be getting invaded. This also means there will be no blood spots or notes scattered around. Throughout Steel Rising's runtime, you will go up against a plethora of clockwork contraptions, and their designs are very utilitarian, so they fit right into the setting. I'll only mention one here, as you'll probably want to encounter them for yourself. And that is the Trumpeteer. Purpose-built to play music for upper-class citizens, they now roam around dancing while playing their trumpet and waiting for an enemy to cross their path before attacking. These things bounce in a very janky mechanized way. I don't know, something about this enemy is just very cool to me. As I've been playing through this game, I've noticed something I wasn't expecting. This game is accessible. And what do I mean by that? Well, for starters, it's easier than other Soulsborne games. And I know, the excruciating difficulty is the main draw to this genre, its claim to fame. So before you chug an Estus and start taking swings at this game in the comments, let me explain. Steel Rising does present a decent challenge. You can still get killed easily if you're caught off guard or you're impatient. But it's not nearly as difficult as, say, Dark Souls 1 through 3. This alone makes it more accessible. Maybe you're new to this style of game and want a more gentle but still challenging introduction. Or if you're like me and don't have time to grind and get wrecked by every boss 20 times before finally beating it, Steel Rising is a very good option. I'd say even for a veteran, you still get your Dark Souls fix, but you can kick your feet up and relax a bit more. Now this goes without saying, but Steel Rising just dropped, 4 days ago at the time of this recording. And while not as polished as, say, Elden Ring, it's still damn close, so if you're a fan of the Soulsborne genre, Steel Rising will feel like home. I'm just going to run a few minutes of gameplay so you can see what it looks and sounds like without my rambling. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and a sub, and thank you so much for stopping by.